It's Wednesday the 11th. Just got down where I'm gonna be hunting, but it's this edge of this big swamp. I'm not too far from one of my cameras, so it's only 10 after 4, so I'm gonna scoot over there, swap the card on that camera, and then come back in. And there's a scrape just outside this swamp that I'm gonna hunt. The wind is coming this way. Swamp's right over here. When I scouted this about a month ago, I jumped a deer, and it sounded like it had antlers when it was crashing off through the swamp. So I'm gonna fly over, swap the card on that other camera, and then sneak my way in as quiet as I can. The woods are super loud, but I don't know, I might have screwed myself. There's no way. I mean, there's not a breath of wind. There's no way I was gonna sneak in next to that swamp quietly and then climb a tree. There's no way. I'm hoofing it back out now in hopes I can get back in those oak trees, find fresh sign, and get set up. Kind of pushing it, but we'll see when I get up there. I might go across the road and do some scouting. I don't know. I went and sat in those oaks. Didn't see anything. Got back to the truck and leaned my bow up against the front tire. Took my backpack, saddle, everything off. Never picked my bow up to put it in the truck and drove off. And I just turned on the dirt road where I was hunting. I'm hoping for the best. I might have just run my bow over. So I'm thinking when I turn the wheel to pull out onto the road, it might have kicked it over and just, maybe I just ran over the stabilizer or something. There it is. Holy sh! I think it's fine. That was nerve-wracking. I'm gonna shoot it tomorrow. I'm not hunting tomorrow anyway. I got a bunch of stuff to do, but I'm gonna shoot it tomorrow and make sure it's still fine, but we're good. So now I'm going to shoot a couple rounds with my .6. So I turned it a little bit. So I want to check and see probably 50 yards where it's hitting. I don't have a shooting rest or bench or anything, so I'm laying in the bed of my truck prone. If you don't have a bench, that's the most accurate way to do it. Upper right corner of that dot. Shoot a couple more, confirm it before I make a move. That one hit just left, same height, so I'm going to adjust the up and down right now before I fire the third shot. 7 clicks. See what that does. That one hit right where I was aiming. Just going to confirm it. I knew it wouldn't be too far off, just rotating the scope slightly. Oh yeah. Alright, so this was the first shot. This was the second shot. Then I adjusted it down, and these were the last two. You can see, I mean, they're touching. And the reason I make a dot, I mean, this is probably 4-inch, maybe 5-inch diameter dot, but my scope, you know, the circle around the crosshairs fits perfectly around that on about 3.5 power at 50 yards. With this size ring, I can keep everything perfectly centered, so I know when the gun goes off that I was perfectly centered in there, so we're gonna call that good. After that moose hunt, I'm not in the deer anymore, and I don't like going out not knowing if I'm gonna see deer. I wanna be in them. I'm gonna have to take a little time off from hunting to scout and get back into deer. Go from there. All right, Friday after work, it's about 5 o'clock. Pretty windy day, but this is scouting mission number 1 for the weekend, and I found a good one. See, it's steep there, and there's a run that comes off down through here. Scrape right there, and the run continues out that way. I'm about at the top of the mountain. I got a camera with me. Scrape out, freshen it up, and slap the camera on somewhere and keep it moving. All right, that's day 1 of scouting in the books. Didn't see anything else. I'm almost to the bottom. Pick back up tomorrow. Day 2 in some oaks, and found I just missed it by a week, I guess. This is a money spot. It's just, I don't think they're here anymore, you know. That's about a week old. I mean, there's oaks everywhere. Oaks everywhere and tons of trees to climb, but just missed it. Found his bedroom. Buck track. He's got this swamp to his back, up on this little knoll. Good spot to bed. That'd be a good spot to be in the morning. He comes back in. So I got a camera with me. I think I'm gonna put here because that bed I found is over there. It's kind of this swamp right here. I could see in the evening a buck getting up and, you know, out of that bedding area and kind of working across this swamp through here. Could bail down that way. If I see a buck coming through on that camera at just after dark or whatever, then he probably got out of that bed up on that hill somewhere, bedded, and is coming out into here. So I'm gonna throw it up and keep it moving. All right, almost back out to the road. Might hit another spot. I'm not sure. Might just call it an early day and grab some dinner and get to bed early because I want to be in a tree in the morning. Gonna try that spot I was hunting just because transition area, so you never know. So that's the plan. I don't find anything really spectacular. See you in the tree in the morning. Well, I can assure you when you watch my channel that everything I'm saying is real, 100% truth, and I'm going to be completely transparent. So in this episode, I almost ran my bow over, and now I've gotten to the tree and realized that the saddle's back at the truck. I'm doing pretty good. So I'm going to hunt off the ground because I don't have time to go down, get the saddle, and come back before it is what it is. The wind is still good. I should be all right. I'm kind of above the ravine a little bit anyway, but I would like to be up in this tree. But oh well, we'll see what happens. Well, that's it for the morning hunt. I don't know how well you could hear it, but Had some deer trying to come through before daylight. I couldn't even get eyes on them. It was before 6 o'clock, so they were spooked somehow. Either saw me moving or caught my wind, but wind was back and forth. Again, wasn't steady this morning. It's 9 o'clock now and nothing else has come through, so time to go do some scouting. Alright, just got in for the evening hunt. Again in search of oaks, and I found some. And there's 2 fresh rubs down there. Looks like an area where 2 bucks fought. There's a bunch of fresh acorns that are actually good. Fresh feeding sign. And I'm only 10 yards into the woods. All this sign is like right on the edge of this big power line. It's only 4 o'clock, so I think I'm gonna press in a little further. Just set up under some oaks and see what happens. This was about 30 yards past where I just was talking to you. I just heard an acorn land right next to me. I don't know which way they're coming from. And it's only October 15th, so I imagine it's probably still nighttime activity, but I'm not even recording every one I find. This place is torn up with scrapes. I think for tonight, because I just found it, and although I don't know the movement, I'm anticipating it's coming from that direction towards the power line, so I'm just gonna hunt. I'm gonna hunt that first big scrape I found, because my wind will kind of be blowing out towards the power line, and just this week I'll just stage hunt it. I'll go in a little further, if nothing happens tonight. Forgot the microphone again, but also wearing sweatpants, because I forgot to grab my wool pants. So doing pretty good, but I'm settled in now. Wind should be dying down soon, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm kind of right on the edge of that power line, and the scrapes out in front of me. See what happens. Back in that same area. I know they've been in here since I left, because that was not there last night. They're around. I'm gonna press further in, but I'm gonna end this episode here. You'll have to tune in to the next one to see what happens.